I learned one thing. It's important not to say to the, let's say, the older generation that they were behaving in the wrong way. It's too easy to blame them and say, okay, hey, this is stupid. How can you do that? And this is the way how you should do it. But show respect for the way how they did always their job. But also at the same time show that this is much more safer way to do your work than you used to do. They not always realized that their way of doing it was dangerous or can be more safe. Yeah. So, but if you start talking to them and say, hey, that's really stupid of you to do it in this way, then people block and they say, well, I don't talk to you anymore, and forget it.
I have a team, especially on the legal compliance right now. My colleague there, he's been with the company for 35 years and this young lad's only been there for 2 years. Oh my God, there's such an amazing team for the module that I thought would be the hardest to actually implement into it. And the way he's also engaged, his style of engaging our operators to do some of the task definitions and everything. There's no way on earth his older colleague would have been able to do that. So I think we shouldn't underestimate.
No, they are amazing. Young people are amazing. They're really, I mean, you should learn from them. They bring the freshness and their boldness. And,
that's
like really, and I think what is amazing me, the concern about the environmental issue. It is, safety is there, but what are we doing for environment? And we have this Yammer, we have this, different social channels in the company. And the commitment of the people and wanting to see the change is actually, they teach us. They teach me a lot.
That's right.
So we've had to kind of, in recognition of a change in generation shift, we had to change our procedures, our process, and how we actually consult. So our procedures, we used to have, really long procedures that people had the time to read and had been schooled to kind of read that material. And so now we have to move over to video tutorials. And the procedures have to be 1 page or less. Really short, really concise. And we have to use visuals because this is a generation that's been taught visually and they engage visually, they think visually. There's a whole generation coming through who are happy to say, this procedure's rubbish. This process you've got is rubbish.
Tone from the top is everything. We want them to believe in what they're saying and have this tone in the way they come over, and so that it comes from them and they really believe it. And actually, we'll deal with the technical side, and we've made huge strides in that tone, that feeling. That's been a really big step for us. It's worked really well for us. What we're really saying is that when they say safety takes priority, they mean that. And that they can demonstrate that if they've got the choice between a contract and safety, they choose safety.
The employees are watching, and we talk about the senior leadership is a huge role, and employees are watching. If you have a quarterly results and you one time you talk about the safety and then you don't, then the people are always noticing it. So the consistency is a really critical to stay consistent on the course.
Completely.
Yes.
I think it's also behavior. Showing that behavior, because the one thing that a senior leader does wrong will be remembered more than even the tone. It's being vigilant all the time, because that's the bar you're setting by setting the tone. We're all allowed to make mistakes, but I think it's even more important for the senior management to say, hey, I made a mistake as well, and look, this is what it looked like. What could have happened to me?
We had a leadership call about 6 months ago, and one of the senior leaders, he had an injury the day before. He was in the kitchen and he cut himself badly. So we started the call, as all of the leaders do, with a safety moment. And he just showed vulnerability. He said, look at my arm, I cut myself. I wasn't paying attention. I was with my child and I was doing this. And we got more interest from that because the leader wasn't this kind of pride issue that knows all the answers. They actually showed vulnerability and they said, I made a mistake just like you did. And it's so easy to do, and human error is implicit in what we do. So, and it was a whole conversation. So I think one of the things that we should encourage leaders to do, as we should with everybody in the organisation, just be human. Just actually talk about why safety is important to them, be it their families, their loved ones, whatever, or talk about a safety moment, Or in this particular case, say this accident happened to me. Because when they show that and they tell that story, they make a human connection that's so much more powerful than anything else that we could ever have.